Hello everyone, good to see you all. It's been so long, hasn't it? It's been 2 weeks since I've seen you last. Wasn't Ravi and Tina so great? And now you're at school, you're going back to school. Are you happy about that? Are you not happy? Just one more term left and then school holidays, 6 weeks, summer, go to the beach, go to the pool, have fun. So it's not very far away. But we are continuing the story of Moses and Pharaoh. What do you remember from last time? Where are we up to? Do you remember? They were at the edge of the water. They had to go to the other side. We don't know how they're going to do it. And then Pharaoh's army is chasing them down. What's going to happen next? And the people started to complain. They started to say, why did you do this to us? They're going to come and kill us. Take us back to Egypt. We got nowhere to go. There's water. We can't get to Mount Sinai. Everyone's in panic. So what do you think they're going to do? What is God going to do? Because God has been faithful, hasn't he? The whole time, God has been very faithful. He's been rescuing them through the plagues, and now they're in a bit of a predicament, but I'm sure God's going to do something miraculous. So if we remember our map, they came down. They couldn't go that way. Do you remember? Not allowed to go that way. The Philistine armies are there. So they went down, but really they got to come down here where the smiley face is to Mount Sinai. But they went down there. God led them down that way. It wasn't a mistake. And then they came to the edge. Now what's that blue part in the middle? That's water. And it's not only a small bit of water, it's large water. How are they going to get across? And now Pharaoh's army's chasing them there. They're stuck. And the Israelites are sad and scared and angry at Moses. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are they going to get from there to there and then go down? How are they going to get over that piece of water? Because they can't go down here because the water just gets bigger and bigger. What's going to happen? So, God speaks to Moses. And he says to him, lift up your staff and point it to the water, and I'm going to do something magnificent. Moses didn't know what he was going to do, but as the army was coming closer, do you remember a few weeks ago we spoke about the cloud that they followed in the daytime to know where they were going? They were traveling on a journey because there was a cloud. That cloud actually went in front of the Egyptians, as you can see here, and it went around them and made everything really dark. So they couldn't see where they were going. God was stopping them from heading towards the Israelites, giving the Israelites time. And as they were coming, it was starting to get late in the afternoon, and then it became dark. And what God did throughout the night was something amazing. What do you think God did? He started to part the water. What does that mean? Well, he made the water, some of it go this side, some of it go this side, so it went like this, and they could walk through on dry ground. So they can go, they can go from this side to this side on dry ground without any water. He was going to split the water. Can you believe that? And he didn't let the Egyptians follow because they were stuck behind that dark cloud. So the Israelites were like, yes! And what did they do? Look at that. That side, they started to go through on dry ground without the Egyptian army following them, because they were stuck behind a cloud that God put them in under. So they're going through. Do you think they're happy? Would you be happy to go through there, or would you be a bit scared? It would be like huge, water everywhere on each side. It would be so scary, but exciting. Would you go through? Well, they did, didn't they? Thousands and thousands of them, they went through, and it would have been a long journey. They would have to travel all night through. And then the cloud lifted. Just when they were nearly all the way through, the Egyptians were then allowed to go in by God. And as they were going through, you can see them, they're excited. Yeah, let's get the Israelites. They're not too far in front of us. We don't know how this thing happened. Anyway, we won't worry about that. That's a bit weird how they didn't understand that God just did that. But anyway, they still were traveling and they were chasing the Israelites. What do you think is going to happen next? They capture the Israelites and kill them all. Is that right? No. That's not what happens. God causes them in confusion. He confuses them and their wheels get stuck. And some of the wheels are broken and they start running around each other. Instead of going forward chasing the Israelites, God causes them to just hang around so they don't catch them. And all problems, things are falling over, horses don't want to go the right way, and it was just chaotic. And once the Israelites reached to the other side, let me go back to it, reached to the other side, what do you think happened? Have a look. God let the water go. And when he let the water go, there's a bit of a sad moment. I know we don't like the Egyptians, but God killed them all. They all drowned. The whole army drowned. That's sad, isn't it? But they were pursuing God's people when they shouldn't have. God had given them hundreds and hundreds of warnings. And finally, as the water came, you can see one of the wheels here, they were all drowned. And the Israelites were on the other side, safe. Finally, free. Finally free. After 430 years in slavery and bondage and under the Egyptians' control, they are suddenly free. Free to go to the promised land. But first they've got to go to Mount Sinai. We spoke about that. But they're free. What would you do if you're free? If you were free like them and suddenly no more Egyptians chasing you, what would you do? Look, hey, we're free! Yay! Celebration! What else would you do? Would you dance and sing? Look at them, they're playing tambourines. Look at this one. I got a tambourine. Yeah, let's dance. You know what? It just reminded me. Next year, we have Easter Mission. And we're going to be talking about Moses. We're going to be talking about Moses' journey. And we're going to be making tambourines and many other things. So I would like you to put that in your diary. Tell your parents about next year, Easter Mission. We're going to be doing, and we're going to be making stuff. And we're going to go through the stories of Moses again. And I'm going to ask you and see if you remember the stories. So this was one. And they were celebrating. Yay! I've got a craft here from Jamie last year, and this is what he did. Water on each side, and in the middle, they were going through dry ground. That's really nice. Thank you, Jamie, for that. If anyone else wants to do some craft, please come and see me. But thank you. So what did we learn from this story, do you think? Well, I think we need to trust God, don't we? If you notice back then, they blamed Moses again. As soon as they saw the Egyptians coming towards them, they got scared and they started to not trust God anymore. And Moses, send us back to Egypt. Life's not always easy. There's always tough times in your life, isn't there? There's times when you're not happy. There's times where people do things to you don't like. There are times where you're sad. There are times where you think, God, why aren't you helping me? You need to be patient, don't you? Because God is there for you. But he just doesn't help you every single time you call him. He's not a genie in a bottle. We can just rub, God, I want this and that. That's not how God works. God does things that you don't even understand. God looks out for the best. You don't even know what the best is sometimes, but he does. So this story is teaching me, and I hope it teaches you, we need to trust God. We need to trust God, whatever his plans are. The people in Jesus' time didn't know what he was doing. They just saw Jesus walking around healing, but he actually came to die for our sins. But the people didn't understand that. So sometimes, if you're struggling and you think God's not looking after you, be patient. He is. You just don't understand his plan. That's what we need to remember. That God is always looking out for us. He's always in charge. And sometimes we just need to be patient. And we're not to blame God. We have to trust God in all circumstances. Say it with me. Trust God in all circumstances. So that finishes today's story. Welcome back. Next week, we're going to be looking at, let's go back to our map. Woo, 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 woo. There it is. They've crossed to the other side now. Next week, we're going to see them traveling down to Mount Sinai. What's going to happen there? Are they going to get hungry? Are they going to get thirsty? Are they going to encounter anything? We're going to have to come back next week and see. Anyway, you have a great time. You have a great weekend. Great Sunday. And go back to school, work hard, and I'll see you next week. All right.